Let's talk about some subjects, shall we? So I heard that the Sony was offline. Their network was offline for like 24 hours, apparently. I didn't buy it because, you know, there's not really a single skin in Marvel Rivals that kind of interests me as much. So that's pretty much about it. But welcome, or so. How you doing? How you doing? But yeah, apparently the Sony people couldn't play their plastic box. See, so and then another problem is like they couldn't play their games offline either because they had to be connected to the internet. Now, I'm not gonna say anything, but back in my day. Back in my day, you didn't need the internet to play games. I'm just saying, you know, you just pop in the disc, you turn on the console, you connect it to the TV, and you fucking play it. But now these days, you need a fucking internet connection to play basically all of your games now, or at least most of your games. But for me personally, like I switched over to PC, so I don't really play on console anymore. I used to play PlayStation. But then I got tired of paying for the online service for like 1 year, or technically because I was on, like I swapped the PC like a couple of years, like I'd say like maybe like 5 years ago, maybe, or a little bit more, because I kind of like stopped. I was like getting less interested in playing on console and started playing more on PC, and then there was just no benefit of like paying for the online service for Sony, so it's just kind of like I only paid it for like 1 month or so for like Monster Hunter World because I didn't have it on PC, but then we saw it was on sale or something like that, and I was like it's like okay, fine, I guess. And then I played it on PC, and that was like pretty much it. So yeah, but anyways, I'm kind of curious what Bellular News has to say about the actual situation
everyone,
itself.
today we have got a victory to celebrate because the mandatory linking of your PSN account, or, you know, making...
Wait, Helldivers 2 is no longer purchasable in 177 countries where PSN is not available, but some are still available. This game has now received 215,000 negative reviews. What countries are there that's not... So these are the ones that are not allowed to have it? Damn, not even the U.S. Virgin Islands can play Helldivers. British Virgin Islands. Damn, I feel so sorry about the Virgin Islands. Wait, the Philippines can't even play this game? What? What? All the Filipinos can't even play this game? Puerto Rico can't even play this game? What the hell? All of my Pepito audiences could not play Helldivers 2. I don't know. Morocco? Damn, I know. I have a friend from... Wait, Japan? Wait, this package cannot be activated or purchased with this... Wait, Japan? What?
One for PC gaming has just died a quiet death.
Yeah, that's
which is
interesting.
Quite nice, and rather funnily, well, Sega have just went and done something very similar, but they've done it in the right way, and
I don't know.
Basically what Sony should have done.
Japan on there for some apparent reason.
A little bit humiliating. This all came out via a blog post that basically is admitting that this whole sort of strategy failed, right? Trying to use the stick.
Let's see, starting with tomorrow's release of Spider-Man 2 for PC, we're working to add more benefits to playing with an account for PlayStation Network. The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered coming in April 3rd, 2025. In addition to the God of War Ragnarok and Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, we'll all soon be adding the in-game content unlocks for PlayStation Network account users. An account for PlayStation Network will become optional for these titles on PC. Players who will not opt to sign into a PlayStation Network account will also enjoy added benefits like trophies and friend management.
failed, now they're going to be using the carrot, and it's all in time for the launch of Spider-Man 2 on PC, which is also something we got to talk about. So the way it's going to work is, instead of mandatory account linking to access like any of your online features, now it's just going to be, if you link your account, you will get some sort of bonus things or benefits, which basically just means skins, the odd booster, that sort of thing. Which is funny. Strong-arming PC gamers is really not a great plan. It doesn't seem to have worked, caused a bunch of pointless drama, and they've just went and done the opposite. Now, it's all kind of funny because this is happening with Spider-Man 2. It's not really worth me doing a full video on Spider-Man 2, it's just another Sony port, but it is always curious to see platform-specific port release reviews that also involve a bit of a reappraisal of the game, like now that it's actually been out for a long time. And certainly there are some reviews that are way more harsh than, I guess, the average that you used to get. As an example, man, the PC Gamer review, like, it gives it a 57.
Let me see. Eventually, Spider-Man 2 PC port will be fixed to the point that it will rival and arguably exceed the PlayStation 5's version, especially for those with more powerful rigs that can push the game to its graphical and performance limits. At launch, though, Spider-Man 2 on PC falls well short of expectation. The core gameplay is still a blast, and it's still one of the best Spider-Man games out there, I assume is what it means. Toothless writing, old-fashioned open world design, a ropey port work undermine what should be a thrilling cinematic adventure.
Calls out toothless writing and a bit of an old-fashioned open world design, which does line up with my biases for a game like this, but it also really slams them in the port. Now, it's also then interesting because Game Rant actually frames this as an amazing game, but they give it a 6 out of 10 nonetheless because of the quality of this port. It absolutely doesn't look like this is a game you should be buying right now based on that port quality, and Steam's 64% user score is full of reviews that are just pointing out poor performance and crashes, which is obviously not great for Sony. And as always, the quote from Insomniac leadership comes to my brain. Quote, "Is 3 times the investment in Spider-Man 2 evident to anyone who plays the game?" The, inherent answer in that is not even they thought it was. Now, this is not really to slam Insomniac because the port is on Nixie's, not them, but it does have an implication on profitability and PlayStation's overall business. So, it's a mixed launch, but there is a good change in their overall strategy, so let's dive into it. What you may not know is the underlying trend that actually got us here. You see, PlayStation had quite a big problem. Half their audience was on the PS4, right? They were not moving on to the PS5. The adoption rates have not been fast. The PS5 has basically kept up with the PS4 in terms of its sales performance, but you would have expected it to have grown.
Damn, that's crazy. That PS2 is still up there pretty damn high, to be honest. Yeah, man, I still have my PS2, my PS3, I still have my PS4. I think I still have my PS1 question mark?
Grown, given that the market has grown, and overall we are seeing that investment from gamers in console stuff is actually fairly flat. And this of course means for Sony, oh shit, because their future big new games are going to be selling to so much fewer people if they're PS5 only. The way to get around this was to start porting things to PC. And
well, the problem is the PS5 is fucking expensive for no apparent reason, and then the PS5 Pro, it's not even worth to get either because the performance from a regular PS5 to a PS5 Pro is so fucking minimal. There's no point of getting it. So I'm it's Sony's fault for charging that amount of money or so for a plastic box. I'm just saying, especially in this economy.
Then to integrate PC with their now infamous live service plan, the one that we just covered the partial gutting of. Now, to pull this off, Sony made a key decision, the sort of decision that informs everything else that would happen. They wanted a unified account system to manage all of their games. And from Sony's perspective, you can see how this makes sense. It means better moderation. It means achievements being unified. And of course, it means juicy player data to wave at investors. Because you will get some player data from Steam, but if you've got all your own telemetry running, if you've got your own account system, then you get the data that you want. And that sort of thing is actually worth a shitload of money to businesses. Now, for this plan, Helldivers 2 should have been the thin end of the wedge, and it should have happened in a different way. It was planned to have happened in a different way than it did. You probably remember the drama, right? It was as if Sony just woke up one day, saw, oh shit, Helldivers is doing really well. Let's force accounts on them because we need more accounts. We want all that data, now that it was a wildly successful game. But in reality, that is not what they had planned. Actually, this whole account linking system was supposed to launch alongside Helldivers 2, so that with Helldivers 2, you never would have questioned the PSN account thing because it would have been there from the beginning. But of course, if you remember the Helldivers 2 launch, it was a complete shit show. The game did way better than we thought, and that requirement was dropped, right? So Arrowhead did not have to do it, meaning that rather than being a baseline part of the deal, it felt like Sony later changed the deal to basically make you jump through hoops for their own benefit, which sucked. But they also had not considered some very obvious things. PSN is not available globally. Steam is available globally. If these things don't match up for you, you're going to have a problem, and that meant that for over 100 territories, you just couldn't play the game.
So wait, so all these specific easy just make our PC port run shitty than the PS5 Pro, so you want best experience? No, shut the fuck up. So you're telling me that every single country that's on this specific list right here, they can't make a Sony PSN account? Question mark? Is that what I'm understanding? It cannot be activated or purchased within a specified country. But why is Japan here though? Can Japan really not make a Sony account? Question mark? Or purchase it? Question mark? That's weird. I see Puerto Rico in here as well. Cambodia. Madagascar. United States minor outlying islands? What the fuck is that? I don't even know what the fuck that is. What do you mean by minor outlying islands? Japan had to sign in with their IDs. The Holy See? Man, these are some weird ass countries, to be honest, the way how they name some of them. The Holy See. I see the holiness. Vietnam. Uganda can't even make Sony's over there. Yemen, Samoa, unknown country code XD. What the fuck does that mean? What is unknown country code XD? Okay, all right, interesting, all right.
And the response to the whole drama was just to say, quote, "We're still learning what is best for PC players and your feedback has been invaluable."
That statement, that specific statement there. Oh man, dude.
It really made it seem like they were going to change something, but after that point, just about every newly released game did require a PSN account. But that is until today. The basic story is that the stick is now gone and they're replacing it with a carrot. So no mandatory account requirements for Spider-Man 2, Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, God of War Ragnarok, and Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered.
What about Ghost of Tsushima though? Huh? What about that game?
But of course, they do want you to make an account. So now, if you make a PSN account and you link that account, you'll get some rewards. What that means is early access to various...
Whoa, that's so cool. Wow. Damn, you get some extra rewards. Oh, ooh.
cosmetics and some XP boosts, and then what were pre-order cosmetics for Spider-Man 2 are now going to be linking rewards, and there's some cross-promotion where Last of Us Part 2 Remastered offers an Ellie skin from Naughty Dog's upcoming game, Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. So
why? Who Who the fuck? Hold on a second. Hold on. Who the fuck wants the? Okay, all right, man. For The Last of Us. For The Last of Us fucking Part 2 remastered. Oh my god. Yeah, that's what people want. Yes. They want the fucking jacket, you know, from Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet. Yeah, that's definitely the one thing I would love to have in my game. Man, dude. Sony. I'm getting sick. What, of the shenanigans that I'm witnessing here? Yeah, same as well. Same as well. I still haven't played the first one. Where can I sign up for a PSN account? You should probably get some rest or so if your stomach is hurting.
Offers an Ellie
Take some
skin
medicine
from
too as
Naughty Dog's
well.
upcoming game, Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet, so I guess they're just trying to get a little bit of cross-promo going there. But to me, the bizarre thing is this Policy 180 is not the first time that they've done, like, optional linking rewards. So Horizon Forbidden West quietly tested the waters here with a PSN linked account bonus. Ghost of Tsushima only had the Legends multiplayer mode be the hook. And this really was a strange flip-flopping, because after that, they just whiplashed back to mandatory linking for 3 straight releases. It's hard to say exactly why, but there are some fundamental things. I mean, do you know what's bad for sales? Friction. Friction at any point of the process.
Yeah.
Even if it is a tiny requirement in your end and you think it's only a few seconds, players shouldn't actually care, if it's enough to piss somebody off, it does matter, and it will count as a reason not to buy a game, and you'd be surprised, wrote large, how...
And then also on top of that, you know, my question is, right? If you sign into your if the Sony network is down, right? And you're on Steam, right? And you're trying to log in with the Sony thing, you can't have access to it, right? Because it's technically connected to Sony shit. So I assume with all these other stuff, like let's say, you know, because like the Ghost of Tsushima, right? They have the multiplayer only available if you sign in to PlayStation, right? And if you wanted to play that, but you can't play it because the Sony network is down, it's kind of like... That's also another reason too of what I'm thinking specifically of that scenario, because plus also at the same time, leaked information or so of personal information was out and about with Sony the last time, if I remember correctly, the big major one or so. So I don't know how much trustworthy I have with Sony, because they were down, because Sony was down for like 24 hours, at least to my knowledge as the recording of this video. The information has not been public of what was the reason why it was down for 24 hours. And even then, on top of that, they gave everybody like free PSN Plus or whatnot. So it's kind of like, eh.
So many sales that could cost a company. But the bad news is that region locking is still a problem here. They've tried to work on it, and the list has shrank down to around 130, which does sound massive, but then you will realize, I mean, it does include North Korea. So there's a few countries where sanctions mean, like, obviously they're not going to be servicing customers there. But here's actually where it gets kind of interesting, because we have seen some curious little movements lately. Horizon Forbidden West had a brief moment where someone seemingly, right, tried to apply blanket region lock policies without considering the specific game. That basically then got undone. People noticed it. It was a little bit strange. And then with Helldivers, they are actually expanding availability, but it still isn't really that much. So basically what they're doing is they're adding territories through their parent nations, like Greenland via Denmark. And if you're watching this in the future, bear in mind, I've recorded this video before World War III. Anyway, the problem is not fixed yet, but it does seem to be getting better. There's a fundamental problem here, though. Steam is global, PSN is not. If you're using Steam in a country without PSN, you are shit out of luck, and it basically seems that Sony cannot be seen to ask people to sign up for an account in a region that
so this is the restrictions for Ghost of Tsushima? So this package cannot be activated or purchased in specified countries. Why is Japan in here? Why Japan in here? It's Ghost of Tsushima. What the fuck? That makes no sense. That's their game. That's their home turf, you know? Why the fuck cannot not play their own game? Man, that's just weird. That's just so weird. Even Greenland is also in here too as well. Guam is in here as well. It's just kind of weird to see all of this, you know? Haiti can't even play it.
They don't support. But the hilarious thing, Sega's basically gone and got almost all the benefits with none of the pushback, and no one cared. The Sony backlash happening would make you see Sega's new unified account service and think, oh god, they're doing it again, there's going to be a drama.
Thank you for the follow.
But no, here's how it works. You make a profile, you get cosmetics, and then you're done. There's really nothing else. They've launched it in PC and consoles, it's got incentives from day one, and basically if you're a Phantasy Star player, you get a new emote, you get some resources. If you're like a Dragon player, you get a Kiryu costume for signing up at the launch window. It's as simple as that. None of it's forced, and it is less deeply ingrained with their games, because I don't think they had the foundational, we are going to have a live service empire span onto the PC and span onto Steam, which is obviously what Sony were thinking about. What it essentially is, right, is a really big email list. But it's an email list that will tie telemetry to users, and that is important. That's because Sega have got big plans for live service games. Funny enough, just like Sony did. And I think Sega's are insane. I mean, I'm not bullshitting you. They literally have planned an MMO version of Crazy Taxi.
What? They're making an MMO with Crazy... How does that even work? How do you make an MMO with Crazy Taxi? What? How does that... How do you make that function? And it's just... Man, this is weird. Sega, what the fuck are you doing, Sega?
Yeah, Crazy Taxi, the MMO. I don't know what to make of that. And similar for Virtua Fighter. But basically, with those emails being obtained, Sega will bring millions of people into their information sphere. And it's just like how if you go onto an e-commerce website, you're going to get a 10% discount for joining their email list. That's because email lists are worth millions these days. If you actually go and look into the whole, making money online niche, which is so full of grifts and bullshit, but so much of it is centered on email lists for good reason. That's how you directly access your customers in a way that bypasses traditional advertising. That's why these companies want your email. Makes a lot of sense. Sega.
So you're saying that Sega is gonna spam my email every time a new game comes out, or if a game gets discounted? I don't know, man. It kind of sounds annoying because it kind of bloats my email, my inbox a lot, to be honest. I don't know, man.
Though, just did it the smart way and didn't spark a drama, unlike Sony, who, I don't know, put their foot in their mouth, tripped, and landed on a landmine that they also happened to place.
Well, it's fucking Sony. What do you expect,
I've got one or two little juicy things, including something I heard in the download for you. So look, nobody has learned their lessons more painfully than Sony through 2024. I mean, I say learned. Maybe they haven't learned, but they certainly have had painful lessons. Needless dramas like this
They
one.
haven't.
Concord, and even in spaces where
They haven't learned enough.
LEGO Horizon Adventures has not replicated the success of Astrobot, and I definitely need to research it more. But I have heard on the grapevine from, I don't know, some little birds that sometimes chirp in my ear that game was shockingly expensive and things have not went well. And if you look at their other products, I mean, the Portal did well, but PSVR 2 has pivoted to PC compatibility. That tells us all that we need to know about their adoption rates for that. And the PS5 is struggling to keep on par with the PS4. And that is kind of a worrying trend because you would expect...
That's crazy that the PS4 is still better and stronger than the PS5. That's crazy to hear that. Man, dude. Damn, dude. This generation of consoles sure is something, to be honest.
This industry to be growing. And while it is growing in literal dollars, inflation adjusted, the growth is actually flatter than you would expect. And if you're wondering why companies are getting more and more desperate, that's one of those reasons. And Sony are finding out that being the market leader does not make them bulletproof, especially not against their own bullets from their own gun that they've pointed at their own body. Now, I just teased you that overall industry growth is shockingly stagnant in real terms. And if you want to learn more about that, watch this video next. It's ostensibly about the $100 Grand Theft.
It's very interesting. Yeah, and apparently there's rumors also on top of that because he was talking about the Grand Theft Auto. Apparently rumors said that like the new Grand Theft Auto game is going to cost like $100 or so, at least for the base game. They've always been pretty money hungry because like at the end of the day, right, they were trying to make like, what was it, like 12, was it 12 or 10 live service games? I don't remember how many live service games they were trying to make, but I know they killed half of it. And then recently they killed off Concord because that was one of their live service games, and I think they shut down, I think, another 3 or 4 or something like that. So I don't know, man. Like Sony, I don't know what's wrong with Sony. I guess cause like Sony has no competition anymore. They can kind of do, I guess, whatever the fuck they want to do, I guess. So the difference is simple. Sega, you scratch our backs, we scratch yours. Yeah, with Sega, at least with Sega, it's not really that bad compared to Sony's, you know? But I don't know, man. I don't feel like, I personally don't want to get my inbox getting bloated with Sega information, to be honest. No, thank you. I'm okay. Yeah, I'm just kind of like reading some of the comments or so down below, but oh, Sony, you're just you used to be good, Sony. I remember back then where like Sony was like kind of making fun of Xbox because of the whole game sharing DRM thing, right? It's like, this is how you share games. Thank you. You know, they're kind of like making fun of Xbox, right? But now it just seems like it always kind of like reverses from each other back and forth. Of like, we make fun of Sony and then it goes back to Xbox and then goes back to Sony and then goes back to Xbox and then now we're going back to Sony again. I feel like they can't seem to do, you know, things correctly over there, you know, to keep a positive limelight at least. Moving everything to California was best solution. Oh yeah, I forgot that the Sony headquarters did move to California. Man, California's expensive, man. I don't think that was the best ideal to move it over there, to be honest. They should have moved it somewhere else that's like cheaper, but what do I know, right? What do I know, right? I'm not a businesswoman, you know how to, you know? It's not like I'm trying to save money or anything like that, you know, trying to find a better place to set up the headquarters, but you know, that's just me though anyways. Don't listen to me. I'm just an idiot on the internet at the end of the day. But yeah. But I don't know. Sony used to be good. But then Sony is just kind of like, you know, that's about it. But that's just my personal opinion. You know, anyone can tell me down in the comment section what they think about PlayStation and Sony. Like some of the games are good on the PlayStation console. It's just Sony is just a fucking, God, just Sony themselves are just fucking stupid morons, to be honest, at the end of the day. I don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. They think live service is the way of the future, just like how apparently that EA didn't learn their lesson. They said they should have made Dragon Age the Veilguard a live service game instead of making it a single player game, because that would have probably solved the quote unquote issues of the game, apparently, quote unquote. And it's just like Sony and EA sure are something, to be honest. But anyways, that's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff. Yeah, you know, Good old PS1 and PS2 titles. I only have a few games for PS2, and then for PS1 titles, I don't think I have my PS1 titles anymore. But yeah, that's the end of the video. And Sony, stop being stupid. And yeah, peace.